Hey guys, Sorry Not Rocks is here, and I know what you're saying. Where has he been? He's been gone forever. I know the people who watch my videos, who actually pay attention to them, they're probably like, oh, he hasn't made a video in a while. And don't worry, I have a perfectly good reason for that, and I will make that in my update video that I'm gonna hopefully post on the 1st. And I'll go into much more detail about that, but I've been very busy with a number of things, number of projects and stuff like that. Like I said, I will go into more detail tomorrow. So as far as right now, I want to actually make a video, and I want to talk about Dallas Buyers Club. Now, yeah, hey, new video, might as well make it a review. That's what I'm best at. So, this movie, Dallas Buyers Club, this is a pretty interesting phenomenon here because not a lot of people talk about it, and I thought there would be more people that talk about this movie besides, just random stuff on the internet. But, yeah. And I think the reason why this movie wasn't talked about is because of the advertisements have just been pretty bad with this. I mean, you see it on TV and you hear that title, you read that title, and you're like, Dallas Buyers Club? What does that mean? What does it do? I don't understand it at all. Well, let's think about the title for a second. Dallas, so it must take place somewhere in Texas, right? And then you get the Buyers Club, and I guess it's trying to say must be some type of club that you buy your way in. But what type of club is it? What does it do? And why does it benefit you to watch the movie? And, with a name like that, it just has a lot of things running, not crazy. It has a lot of things just running through your mind, like what is happening in this movie, what's going on and stuff like that. And it stars none other than Matthew McConaughey. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not much of a fan of Matthew. Almost like everything he plays in is just not memorable to me. His performances aren't even memorable to me. I think, what was one movie he was in that I saw like a long time ago? I think it was Sahara or something like that. Was that him? Was that Matthew in that? I think it was. I'm not sure. I think he was in that movie, and I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea. I can't remember what that movie is about. And just like the rest of his movies, I don't pay attention to them. Probably the majority of the movies that he's did, I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know who he was until my mother actually brought it up. And the same thing with this movie. She actually brought it up. I didn't see it in any advertisements for it or anything. I had to search it when she was saying she wanted to see something called Dallas Buyers Club, and I should probably go see it too. And I was like, I don't know what's Dallas Buyers Club. So I look it up on the internet, on Google, of course. And as far as the premise, like the plot itself, actually sounds pretty interesting. And actually, let's go into that real quick. It's about a guy named Ron Woodroof who gets the virus known as HIV. And with that being said, I knew that it was probably going to be something, I don't know, maybe like Philadelphia, where like the main character was probably going to be gay. And, I have no problem with that or anything, but it's just that when you see movies that have a protagonist or has anybody that has HIV, AIDS, that have that type of virus, it's always a gay person. Always. Like, I'm sure straight people can get AIDS because, there are females with AIDS. There are people who share needles that gets it. And it doesn't have to always be a gay guy. It doesn't have to be, just the virus that only gay people get. And luckily, this movie does do something different, and it doesn't make its protagonist gay. Actually, if anything, the protagonist was sort of like this type of, how people say it, trailer trash-ish, hick, redneck, racist type guy, that generic guy from the South that we always see in movies or in old Bugs Bunny cartoons, you know, the sorry hillbilly type people. And this is how this guy basically was. You know, he was a bit of an asshole. He was a gambler, you know, he was a hustler. He was just like all these things, drug pusher and stuff like that. And, you know, he did have his legitimate job. He was an electrician. But he gets injured on his job, and then after the doctors run his blood, they figure out that they do some tests on him. They figure out that he has the HIV virus. And this is where I say the movie truly begins. In the beginning, it's just like, you know, whatever. But the movie itself actually isn't that bad. It's actually really good. That's why I said I'm surprised that a lot of people wasn't talking about it. It must be because of the advertisements for this movie. They're just sort of glanced over. Even the commercials. Like the commercials I'm starting to see now, like way later. The movie came out, I think, on November 1st. And I'm just now seeing commercials from it, and I seen more commercials for Frozen than I did this. And you know, and you already know how they glance over animation stuff, which is really sad. But here with this movie, I don't know, I guess because Matthew McConaughey's in it, but I heard his recent movies have been doing really well. I heard that Mud was actually pretty good. I never saw it. I just heard from somebody it was actually good. But as far as this one, they don't really talk about it at all. And it's so sad because this is actually a really good movie. I was so surprised. I was like, a good movie with Matthew McConaughey in it, and I actually remember what happened? Am I in some type of fantasy world? Am I in the Twilight Zone? I just couldn't grasp it. I just couldn't get it. But then you know, I watched this movie. I sat down, you know, I watched it from like beginning to end, and you know, like I said, my mother was the one that really wanted to see it, so she recommended it for me because she was like, you know, you do your YouTube thing, you know, might as well make a video about it. I actually was not going to make a video about this. I was just like, yeah, you know, I guess I'll sit down and watch the movie. I had nothing else to do that day, and you know, I was like, yeah, sure, let's go see the movie. So saw the movie. And I was really surprised how good it was. And like I said, once he gets to know that he has the virus, the HIV virus that causes AIDS, he sort of goes through this depression state. It's sort of like a grieving. He basically goes through the 7 stages of grieving. Yeah, a whole grieving process. And he's just, you know, denial, acceptance, you know, all that good stuff. I don't know him off the top of my head, at least right now. I'm like drawing a blank right now. But yeah, he goes through these stages, and you know, you see them progress, you see them going, and the doctor tells him he may have like only a few days to live. So he's going through all these grieving processes, and he basically is almost on his deathbed. There's some times when he's basically almost dies like 3 times. He even thinks about killing himself, and it's really some depressing stuff. But he starts to get inspiration once he meets a doctor who lost his license somehow, I think from embezzling or whatever. He loses his license, but when he went down to Mexico to work that way because he still wanted to help people, and you know, reasonably good guy. Just got into trouble and lost his license. Nothing's really too clear about that, how he really lost his license. But I don't remember him telling him, at least not too much. But he ends up helping out Ron. And, you know, he says, I give you this amount of drugs, I've been doing this, I've been monitoring your progress, you're getting better. And Ron's like, oh, did I lose the virus? He's like, no, you will never lose the virus. This is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. He was like, but we slow the process, so to speak. And this is where Ron gets into his head that, you know, whatever this doctor did, we can probably profit from this. And I think this is actually what got the doctor to lose his license in the first place, you know, giving out prescription drugs. That's what I think it is. So, but anyway, he does it here, and so they take the drugs from Mexico to America, then they start selling them, and then they create this whole business called the Buyers Club. And basically, you know, you buy your way in, you get these drugs, and it slows down your process. It was better than what the government was putting out. And of course, the government wanted to stop him from doing so. But Ron, he has a reasonably good lawyer, and his lawyer can keep him from going to jail and all this stuff. And you know, Ron didn't care. At this point, he just wanted to help out people. And here's where the movie's good. I love this character development process. We see everything he goes through, and it does it in a reasonably good time. You know, this is a movie, they have a certain time period to go through. You know, unless it's like the Lord of the Rings and they can go for like 3 hours. But and this movie is pretty long itself. It's almost 2 hours ish. It's probably like 1 hour and 50 minutes, I think, tops. You know, give or take a few minutes for the credits to roll. But for what I see, you know, it was really long, and it never kind of bored me. I always wanted to see what was going to happen next in this guy's life. And this is all this movie is, just going through this guy's life and how he gets this business set up. And like I said, he started out as, you know, this like racist, you know, calling people fags and all this stuff, just these derogatory terms, that type of guy. But when he got this virus and he started to accept it more, and he actually found a way to, you know, help himself, he wanted to help other people. And this is what I can respect about him, about this character development. Once he found out he got the virus, you know, he was also a sex maniac. He had sex with like a lot of women. That's how he actually got the virus. But when he got this virus, he toned a lot of that down. And even, you know, women that wasn't aware that he had it, you know, you get like a prostitute or something, let's say, you know, they want to do that sort of thing, you know, they want to have sex. So, but he would just reject them and say, no, you know, I'll just pay you for the night and you can just go home. That is what I really like. I'm glad he didn't turn out to be a complete asshole and just say, you know what, screw it, I'm fucked up, I'm going to fuck up the world. And that's great. I love this road that they went down. And I think this was based off a true event. It's not necessarily a true story. I think the Ron character is made up, but this also happened to another person. I can't remember whether it's true story or true events. I think it's just true events. But anyway, this movie does the character development pretty well, and you watch him go through these stages. He even gets a friend who has the virus too, who actually progressed along more than he has. But this guy is gay, and I can't remember who the actor that plays him. He plays him really well. I just can't remember him. Shout out to that guy. That guy's really good. But so he makes friends with this guy, this gay guy, and he makes friends with him mostly because at first it was just business, and basically a friendship grew, and they became a little bit closer. Not close enough to where, you know what I mean, but you know, they was like still friends, buddy, that type of thing. And that's another thing. I'm glad they didn't go down the road as just like, I said, okay, you started him out with just being, you know, a straight guy, and he got the virus, even though he was straight and everything like that, showing that not just gay people get the virus, okay? So that's good. Keep that tone, keep that line, and they did. They kept it all the way to the end of the movie. He didn't, you know, deteriorate from it. I mean, he didn't go off and say, you know what, because everyone else thinks I got it because I was gay, I might as well be gay. No, he still kept himself. He's, you know, he was still basically, he just had the virus, but he was still a straight guy. And I'm glad they didn't just, you know, made him start off like a straight guy, manly man and all that stuff, and then, you know, he turns gay just because he has the virus, which was pretty smart and actually wasn't expected. I thought he was just going, I thought, you know, when he became friends with this guy, I was like, oh man, they're probably going to turn him into like a generic character with HIV. He's probably going to, you know, just be gay. But no, he actually wasn't. He stayed on this path. He even falls in love with this doctor, who's played by is it Jennifer Gardner? I can't remember. I think it's Jennifer Gardner, but she does well here, and they do kind of develop a relationship. But because he has this virus, he can't go any further with her. which is really sad. And it kind of gets you right here. It pulls your heartstrings a bit. The whole movie does. Even his friend. You really feel sorry for these people and what they had to go through. And this is like the time of not very good understanding about the HIV virus and AIDS as we do today, or gay people in general. This is a time period of the early 80s, early to mid 80s. I think they only do it late 80s for a while. This is the time period when the virus was on the rise, and nobody knew what to think. People thought you can get it just from touching each other. And all his friends, his old friends, shunned him because they thought they can get it just from touching him. And that really pissed me off. And there's actually something on the camera here. There's still, I guess there's probably still people like that. I don't know. But as far as the people that was like that, it was a lot of them back then. And, the 80s may not seem that old, but because it's not that old, not that, far away, it's pretty retro, but it's not that far away to where you're just like, I don't remember it. It's so sad that they was like this, and they couldn't come to an understanding. At least nowadays it's a little bit better. Race is a whole other issue, but nowadays, with knowing the virus and stuff like that, knowing the symptoms and knowing what causes it, knowing how you can sort of keep the virus off, so to speak, and the medications that you have to take and how long people can live with the virus. Back then, they just had no knowledge. It was a virus that came out of nowhere, and nobody knew what to do. Even the doctors was just like, yeah, take this medicine. This is basically just sugar pills, which will not prevent anything and possibly kill you off faster. And Ron, he got this. He got this, and he knew that, that drug that we're taking is not helping us. We need a new method. And he was so confident and thinking that there was going to be a cure for this virus. And God, I wish it was. I wish it was a cure for the HIV virus, for AIDS in general. But, we all know that it didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. So, so as far as the movie, like I said, this is probably the only Matthew McConaughey movie I'm going to remember. This is like the only ones he did that I really like. And I'm talking about him being the main character, not just like a supporting actor. I'm talking about him being the main focus. And this is the movie that has him at the main focus that I actually enjoy him in. And I enjoyed him playing it. He played this part, man. He really did. And like, the Oscars are coming up. I hope he gets something for this. I hope they get something for this movie. Even if it's the damn soundtrack, which I didn't really pay attention to a lot of the music in here. But get something for this. It's really good, and it should not be overlooked like it is now. So, go out and see Dallas Buyers Club if you can. I think it's still in the movies. Go see it. Okay? If you're accepting of these things, and let's say you probably have a family member who's has the virus, or who's gay in general, if you can be accepting of these things, or if you can sympathize with them, you're gonna like this movie. If you're still one of those old-fashioned hick racist type people, but afraid of the future, afraid of progress or whatever, you're not gonna like this, because you're gonna be made fun of in this movie. But yeah, so Dallas Buyers Club, really interesting, possibly worth taking a look. And like I said, I never thought I was going to be doing a review about this, and I'm actually glad I did. So, scale of 1 to 10, it's 1 to 10, like it's a video game. Out of 4 stars, what do I give it? I'd possibly give it, give it 4 if I can. 4 or 3.5? Let's see, 4. I'm going to give it 4. I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 stars. I'm going to give it a 4-star rating, okay? So, yeah, 4-star rating. That's my rating. I've, of course, put up other ratings from, other people. But that's my rating on the movie. think is really good. I actually think it's worth seeing. So go out there and check it out. Okay, you know, let's get it something for Oscar night. So all right, that's it on the review for Dallas Buyers Club, and I hope with that, I hope you enjoyed the review, and yeah, I will catch you in the next video. The next video will be my update video, and I'm gonna go in more why I haven't been making all these any videos lately. Don't worry, I haven't ran out of anything to talk about. You know, I got plenty to talk about. I got plenty of videos to make. Some stuff people are looking forward to. Also, DeviantArt. I apologize. I said I post every Saturday. Missed my deadline last week, so I'm possibly going to post 2 things this Saturday. So, okay, I will go over that in my update video. So until then, I want you all to take care. I love you, and I will see you in the next video, next review. Take care.